Can you see the comments on your end? And I want to make sure you have that
I'll
feature.
just check. Is that the middle button where it says messages from audience will display here?
Yeah, and then we also have a private chat where we're live
Oh,
now,
we
by the
do?
way.
Yeah.
So that's our private chat that I just said
Okay.
hi to you. So if you want to send me a message.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Delilah Spiritual Spot. I'm Delilah Rose, and with me I have Angela the Healer. I know Angela from doing private readings on Facebook. We used to belong to this group that provided readings for people. And we have been friends ever since. It's been a couple of years now. So I'm happy that she agreed to do this interview. And Angela, please introduce yourself.
Right. So I am Angela. I live in New Zealand. I am a psychic medium. I also do healing work as well. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what she's going to ask me, actually. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself. Don't be shy. So you
Yeah.
also sell
So,
crystals.
yeah, I sell crystals as well. So I have a shop too. I also do miri miri, which is like traditional Maori massage healing bodywork, which helps to release. So it's not just spiritual healing; it also helps with mental health, and also helps to, yeah, with limiting beliefs, and also to help remove like emotional trauma, like within the body as well, like it's kind of stored there. So, yeah, getting more into that. And my ancestors were all healers as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So hi Nora, and please don't be shy. There's a couple of people here, but as people join, please say hello. And if you have any questions about spirituality or how Angela connects and things of that, please ask. If you're on Facebook and I cannot see your comments, please head over to Angela's page. Angela, what's your page?
My one on Facebook is Angela Burton Healing.
Right. So you can also
Yeah.
try her page or my YouTube channel, Delilah Spiritual Spot. And this is just for comments. I just want to make sure we see everyone.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So, Angela, were you born into reading? Is this something your family does?
My great grandmother, her father was a tohunga, so that's like a traditional Maori healer. They were also priests as well. Um, and I will talk a little bit about that. He wasn't very well, I guess, liked very much. He had kind of a, I guess, a dark side, you could say, to him. It was believed that he actually put a curse on my great grandmother, but she was brought up by her uncles instead, who were also tohunga and healers. But she has gifts mostly around like Maori medicine, what we call rongoa. So that was kind of used to kind of fix the curse that she had. Um, but yeah, she could predict like pregnancies and stuff like that. So it's definitely in my bloodline. Yeah.
That's interesting. You mentioned your grandfather. Do you think that um, if it's true that he dealt in the dark, do you think that affects you and affects your bloodline?
Um, I think there's a part of me that knows that that would be something that I could be capable of because it's in my blood. So it does worry me sometimes. Um, like sometimes people look at us as like being witches as well. And part of me doesn't want to delve into that side of things because of that. So that's something that I probably have to work on. That's kind of generational because I know it's probably something I'm meant to be doing, but not necessarily. I definitely don't want to do the dark stuff.
Right.
Um,
And I
yeah.
think a secondary question I have is that dealing with your culture, I'm not very familiar.
Okay.
So like my culture, they believe in light and dark. They walk hand in hand. So
Yeah.
it's a balance. So my question to you is traditionally, is it frowned upon or is that um, Anglo-Saxon influence saying that he's
Hmm.
the dark and not
I think it's
understanding the
probably,
culture.
yeah, there's a huge thing. Oh gosh, I don't know much about it. I can't remember what year it was, but there was a Tohunga Suppression Act. Like legally, Tohunga were not allowed to practice because I guess you could say Pākehā, or what we call white people, um, found it quite threatening and were quite worried about it. Um, so that's kind of something as well. But then there's also, certain religious factors as well as to why people don't,
Right.
yeah. Hmm.
Because they traditionally think witchcraft is evil. That's their culture.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
may view it different. And so I,
yeah. To me, it's to me it's herbs and herbs, candles.
right.
It's like, don't we all have herbs and candles? a bit like that.
Right. No, it's just interesting because I noticed that my family, I come from a family of shamans and priests and priestess and Taino native culture and African culture. And so the way they view things is that there's both in nature, right?
Mm,
And
yeah,
so it's not unnecessarily evil, some of the practices. Now, some probably are more on the darker side and there's not a balance, but
yeah, yeah,
it's not an evil thing. It's a sometimes necessary thing. And I'm
yeah.
just wondering if your culture is the same or similar.
I think in terms of knowing who my guides are and knowing how really protective they are of me, um, I do kind of believe more in karma than than
Right,
anything else, right? Because
right.
I don't want to, like, I would never do it. I would never want to hurt somebody. My ancestors, on the other hand, might see it differently. And yeah, I have noticed that some people have gotten sick when they've kind of hurt me, but
Right.
whether that's something or
Right.
not, I don't know. But yeah,
But it also was a different time, and I think these people were very tribal and like
yes, yes,
with their
very old
clansmen.
ways of doing
So
things.
right. So I think it's
Yeah,
very different. It's curious to see how we were influenced by other people's religion, right? How they
yes,
brought it to us, and it
yeah, it's a
kind of
huge thing.
shaped the way we view our own culture.
Yes, yeah, a traditional
Yeah,
culture.
right. So,
Yeah,
were you always, well, you live in New Zealand, right? So, you
yes,
grew up in
yeah.
your culture, or was it
Yeah.
frowned upon?
Um, the thing is, I was very disconnected from my culture. Um, like I have trauma with both my mum and my dad, which kind of has stopped me from connecting with, actual people that are like Tohunga within my tribe. So now I have to actually connect with, actually go and do like wānanga, which is like courses, and because that's how I did learn miri miri. Basically, was through going and doing some actual courses with people who aren't necessarily from my tribe. Like we have different tribes and stuff like that. So yeah,
Why do you think that? Why do you think that they disconnected from it? What's your opinion on that?
I think in terms of connecting with my actual whānau and family who may know a little bit more about the history of my family actually being healers and what their
Mm,
gifts actually kind of are. Um, so yeah, because I don't get along with my mum and my dad, I almost feel like I can't connect with my other family members because of that.
right. So,
Yeah.
for me, is I noticed that they try to, because we came to the U.S. from the island. And I think for me is that people, well, not people, my ancestors, my grandmother, and them wanted to fit in with this society. So they kind of, even though what's interesting is that my grandmother was a high priestess in the
Wow.
Santeria religion. She kind of shielded the younger generation from practicing. So although my mother was involved, she didn't want her grandchildren involved. She wanted us to be more Americanized and to
Hmm.
fit in with this society. Uh,
Yeah.
so there was a lot of hidden things, even though it's hidden in plain sight. We see what you're practicing. We see these people coming over. We had
Yes.
a skull in a fish tank with nails in it, like,
Yeah.
but no real explanation as to what she was doing or what she was practicing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of crazy, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
It's just not, it doesn't seem to be talked about that much,
Right.
or
Yeah.
not
Because there
enough.
is a like a secrecy thing going on. Like it's supposed to
Mm.
be secret, right?
Yeah. And I still think, I think you're right. I think that is due to religion, actually, and how people kind of view it.
Yeah. That's it's
Mm.
curious. It's very
Mm.
similar. I think that's why I feel comfortable with you because
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. It's very
it's
similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you come into your gifts or when did you decide I'm going to practice and tap into your gifts?
Okay. I know now. Now I know. Well, I did 3 years ago. I think it was about 3 years ago now. Was when I went through my awakening. But in going through my awakening, I realized some stuff that had happened when I was younger.
Mhm.
Um, I would spend a lot of time as a child out in nature, talking
Right.
to what I thought was like fairies and angels. I don't know why I thought
Okay.
that, but this is something I remembered. Um, and I also remembered that I had the feeling of having a higher calling when I was younger, and I don't know where that came from. I also had instances um, where I felt like I had some not very great stuff happen to me, like at night, and I would call that for Archangel Michael. I had no idea back then that he was like the protector. No idea at
Mhm.
all. Well, I think I didn't. Yeah, and I had experiences, like few experiences with spirit, like with my grandmother, my granddad, and my cat when I was younger. But it wasn't until 3 years ago when I actually studied my whakapapa, which is like my family history, and I had a breakthrough with that. I found like and it was back on my Jewish side actually. I had like a breakthrough in regards to that. But then I also got triggered when I actually met someone, had a connection with somebody. Um, so yeah, that kind of triggered it all, and then it was
Okay.
painful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awakenings, a lot of people want to talk about flowery and beautiful and sometimes it's just hurts. It hurt physically, it hurts mentally.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I actually got angry at God.
yeah.
That's what happened. I got angry at God because I honestly, I was married and I had a connection with another guy. It was spiritual. It was weird. I must admit, it was weird. And
Hmm.
I got angry at God. I was like, why did I meet this person? I'm married. Why did I have to meet them? I got really angry. And then I just started to, yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's
get messages and
normal.
things. Mm.
You know why I think that's normal is because the well, I don't know what religion. I'm sure I'm assuming it's Christianity that's on your that's in New Zealand. They took a
Um,
lot out of the
it's
mysticism.
Anglican,
Well,
Anglican,
that's
and my
Christianity,
grandfather is actually was Catholic, but he
right?
didn't believe in it. He thought it was bullshit.
Right. What they did
His
was
words.
is that they took out a lot of the mysticism in the Bible and taught us that that was bad. This was
Yeah.
evil. So when I had my awakening, I was very confused because I still believe in God.
Yeah,
So
so do I.
I
So
was
do
very
I.
like, how am I evil? And what am I like? What am I? What am I doing? Because I kind
Yes.
of always use my gifts. I just didn't always professionally read for people, but I would use my gifts and I would give people advice, and they knew I was uh, a seer, is what they call it. So people would come to me. I would never charge or anything like that, but
Yeah.
you kind of feel like you're doing something wrong, like so you get angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And at that stage, I
So
mean, when I was younger, I had explored going to church and all of that. And that was while I was going through trauma, actually.
right, that
Um,
makes sense because
yeah.
you're. I think it's um. So I was talking to you um about my theory of readers who have had trauma, right? Childhood trauma, and how it's in a weird way your gifts grow with that, and so you become more empathetic. And I read a quote from somebody, and I want your opinion on this quote. What she
Okay.
says is that when you go through trauma and is you get accustomed to the person who would cause harm, so you automatically tap into people who are not the normal in the room. So the person who is feeling the worst, the person who's feeling angry, the person who is having the most difficulty, because they're the one that poses the most danger to you, because it has to relate. Either they've been through the trauma or they're creating the trauma. So you tap into that energy of similarity. And I want to know your opinion on that.
Wow.
Hmm.
Whew.
Right.
They sometimes say you attract what you are, don't
Right.
they? So if you are, I almost feel like though that I tend to attract that more if I am not working on my own trauma. Like if I'm not doing my shadow work, I will tend to attract people that, you know, well, a lot of people that trigger it as well. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I just seem to always end up with the person that
Right.
is probably the worst for me.
You can always tell someone, like for me it's sexual abuse. I can always tell who went through something like that, and then I can always tell the creeps in the room.
I always get a lot of creeps. Like I'm getting a lot of creeps at the moment, which is what I'm dealing
Right.
with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you mentioned that when you were going through your trauma you sought out the church.
Yeah.
Do you think that that was also part of your, looking back, was that also part of your awakening?
Oh, I I'm not well, it possibly was, so I didn't realize it. Um, I think I was just looking for somewhere to, I guess, fit in because I didn't get along with my parents. They were never really like they were there, they put a roof over my head and stuff like that. But I guess when you're empathetic, they just weren't there. They weren't the sort of people that you could talk about how you were feeling,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess I was just trying to find somewhere where I fitted in. I didn't really fit in at school. I was bullied. I think I was just finding somewhere where I could fit in, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's church in particular, and they're supposed to have a connection with the divine, right? These
Yeah.
priests, and they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Whether they do or not, that's argument of, sorry.
Yes.
But uh
Yes.
but it's interesting because I also started taking classes with a nun at one point, trying to
Wow.
find answers. And again, it's a string I notice with people who are gifted, is that we run to these houses of worship because somehow I think we know that we're connected in a way that others
Mm.
may not be, Like it's a sixth sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But I stopped going because I don't know, I just felt there was a lot of, dare I say it, hypocrites and judgmental people.
right, and they don't
Right?
have the answers either. You know,
No, they
uh,
don't. They don't have the answers. That's what
they
that I
don't.
was looking for. And
Right.
but one thing did resonate me throughout the whole thing. Every time I would go to like a different church or something, they would always say talk about having a personal relationship with God.
Hmm.
So that's what I decided to do. I decided to make it personal. I decided to make it one on one and connect.
That's it.
Mm.
You don't
Yeah.
need a third party, and
I
that's
don't need a
why.
church. I don't need another group of people.
In that good book they like to throw at
Yeah.
us,
When
it
God made
says
earth,
to
I'm sure there were no buildings.
go in thy closet. That goes inside to find God. God is
Yes.
in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
so let's talk about how do you grow your gifts? How do you work on your gifts?
Oh gosh. Um, I think the biggest thing I have been struggling with a bit of self-doubt lately, so I've been working on that quite a bit. Also intuitively guided to get more into like sound healing, interestingly.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a lot of self kind of healing at the moment, which kind of does help. So I've been listening to, I got told 435 megahertz. I had no idea if that was even a thing. I had to Google it. And it was all about changing like my mindset and things like that around my self-doubt in regards to my gift. Again, I know that I can do this work because I've done it. I'm still doing it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, and I think I've been lately, I have been dealing, it's interesting that you talked about religion. I've been dealing with a lot of people who are Christian kind of hanging
Mhm.
around. Um, so that has kind of led me to kind of doubt myself a little bit more and stuff like that. I'm very influenced by other people at the moment. So, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of working on creating separation and having a bit of alone time more to actually work on my gifts actually.
Yeah.
And
Um,
yeah.
I think that I don't know about your Christians, but I think the ones that I deal with don't know the Bible. Divining is not against the Bible. It's actually a misquote from the Aramaic, or on purpose they misquoted, right? Because
Mm,
it was supposed to be for only your priest to do it, right? Because they have the connection to God. Uh, but that's inaccurate. What they say is don't do it to talk to the dead, because you don't know what type of spirit or entity you're inviting. But if you do the sacrifices and in God's name, it's okay. It's a whole big thing where crystals are listed in the Bible for healing. It
mm,
actually lists the stones, over a
wow.
hundred stones that we can
Yeah.
use,
Mm-hmm.
herbs that we can use for healing.
Yeah.
It's not banned. It's what the people who wanted to control it, that's what they put in the book, but it's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. It's a man's interpretation, which has been changed so
Right.
many times.
It's also a misinterpretation of the language. If you read
Yes.
an Aramaic Bible, it's totally different. It's vastly different. It it blows my mind. I started reading one, and I listened to one on TikTok, where she reads the actual translation, and it is just mind blowing. Uh, but off of that, back to Angela. So you're
Yes.
going with a bit of self doubt.
Yeah.
And you attribute that to the people you're around, or just we all go through changes in life. So are you just going through a
Yeah.
change, or
I think I'm going through a bit of a change at the moment. Definitely feels like it. Um, I am studying at the moment. I kind of get the
oh, good for
feeling I'm
you.
study, and they want me to do more, maybe less lives. Like did shift to TikTok, which is kind of more entertainment based, which is great. But my work, I think, is a little deeper than just entertainment. You know, when you're dealing with people like with mediumship and grief and people with trauma, it's a little deeper than just entertainment. And some people just see it as entertainment.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to shift more into, at least on that platform, will be more teaching people in the form of actual TikTok videos. But I am
Mhm.
feeling more like a teacher type of um, thing that's kind of
You
coming
know
through for me,
what?
and working more on my shop. At the moment, I'm sort of making perfumes that help with like sleep, and yeah, I don't know, I just got love magic, but anyway.
So, um, I know we're not reading each other, but I do have to tell you something they just gave me for you.
Okay.
So they want you to look at um, being a doula, but specifically a death doula, someone who helps transition the people from this world to the next. It is a thing, and they want me to mention it to you.
It's
Look
okay.
into it.
Yes, there is something which I kind of yeah. So death doula, is that children?
It can be. It's for anyone who needs that assistance. So you may have parents reach out to you, or even nursing homes, or just family members looking for assistance. So you assist them and the person who is transitioning. Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
definitely was
yeah,
getting that. Yeah. I got some past
yeah.
life stuff come up for me actually the other week.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah,
interesting, childbirth was mentioned.
yeah,
So when you said
yeah,
doula, I was like, hmm,
yeah. But
yeah.
people need spiritual help, and you can, well, I can feel it. Can you feel? What do you feel about what's happening in the world? Do you feel a shift, or you know, what is your
Yeah.
feeling?
Um
We don't have to know what it is. But can you
yeah.
sense
Yeah.
it?
Oh gosh. I think I'm creating shifts for people, for other people.
Right.
Um, I think there's a lot more people waking up. I think there's a lot more people who are being told to change and heal the
Yes.
world, because right now there's a lot of disasters going on, and people with money problems, health problems, housing problems, mental health especially.
Mm,
So yeah, I think the
yeah.
world's in not a great state, you know. I think we can make it better.
Right. How do
Yeah.
you receive your messages? Is it in dreams? Do you hear voices? Ah, I hate to say it
um
like that.
yeah. Mostly I've been getting visions. Lately I was told something else as well, which I couldn't understand why I was sleeping all the time. They're like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And I was like, why do they keep wanting me to go to sleep? Um, then I was told that I was going to move more into being a quantum healer, where I was going to be going. I also have dreams of being in like different places, but they're not in modern times. Or
Okay.
I would be in what I felt was the house that I am in currently, but it's not my furniture in the house.
Right. You're jumping
I'm
timelines.
jumping timelines and healing through it recently I now have a list of like 10 people who I've just appeared in their houses during the night, like dream when they've been dreaming.
Wow.
Mm.
That's deep. So do you think you're also astral traveling?
Yes, I've been told that that's what I do. Um, I think and it's interesting that you said about helping people cross over because I've seen things in regards to like portals.
Okay.
I do get shown doors and gateways quite a lot and portals. Like I meditated and did a live last night and I heard portal and I kept seeing like a brick wall. And I was always told that in order to close a portal, you should visualize that.
Okay.
Mm,
Interesting. That's
yeah,
good. You are going through your own awakening. So it sounds like you're awakening to other gifts and
yeah, I
helping
think so.
people through time. I find that
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah, it's more shaman stuff. It feels more. I was told that as well.
Yeah. So
Mm.
do you feel like that's part of so now here's a question because you mentioned you
Okay.
had a Jewish grandmother. Do you think that's more towards the Jewish side or is that more Maori?
Ooh, probably more Maori.
Hmm.
I think it's more Maori. It could relate to some past life stuff because I just keep seeing a young Native American guy hanging around.
Okay,
Mm.
interesting. It's
Yeah,
curious because I also have several cultures in my family. And
yeah,
so it's crazy how different ancestors guide us towards different gifts. So do you
yes,
feel that pull when they want
yeah,
to
I think
guide you one
so.
way?
Yeah, I feel like this. I actually feel like this shaman feels like past life stuff to me.
Right.
Feels like it's a family member, like a brother. Mm.
Funny you say brother. Do you say brother in this life, like maybe a sibling who passed, or maybe I don't know if your mother had a miscarriage, but brother maybe from a past life? Like how do you
Yeah, I
feel
think
about
it's
that?
past life because there's no Native American in my background at all
Right.
in this
Right.
life.
Okay. All right. So,
Yeah,
so you're Jewish from not
Irish.
America. Jewish and
No, not at all.
Irish. Okay.
And
Okay.
Maori.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm.
Right, because the whole Irish have the Celts and their whole Druid thing. So you have
That's
some
something that's coming through at the moment too.
you have very interesting pulls you have. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
interesting. Right.
yeah, yeah.
So another question. During your awakening, how did your family accept it? Yeah.
They didn't. I'm
Okay.
like, I have to take a breath with that one. They didn't. I think they think that I should be, um, locked up probably.
Right. Right.
Seriously, I think they probably think that, that I'm crazy, yeah,
How are they
that I
now?
should be in a mental institute most probably.
Do they still feel that way?
Mm. Um, I don't know, but I have, let's just say I've received some information that
Okay.
my mother kind of feels that way. Other
Okay.
extended family, not so much actually.
You know,
Mm, like
our
I've,
family is
yeah,
important, but our
yeah,
spirituality is more important.
yeah, it is. It's who we are. We can't change that.
Right. So we have
Mm.
a comment from Nora. Can you see the comment?
Yes, I feel that I need to connect with Gaia, and from there, the spiritual development will speed things up, or I'm wrong. Um, Connecting with nature is one of the most major ways in which you can connect, like because you're connecting with nature. It's very natural to be spiritual. Like it comes from there. Connecting with earth energy will help level up your gifts, especially if you like walk barefoot. You can also, like, if you feel like you're carrying like heavy energy or you're just not feeling great, just sitting out in nature is a beautiful way of healing as well. And also if you're feeling like, I don't know, like you're feeling unfocused or a bit dizzy or ungrounded, or then it's a good way of grounding is connecting with the earth energy as well and connecting with Gaia. And if you feel drawn to that, then definitely do it, and it will help with spiritual development as well. I mean, you can even meditate out in nature and that'll help you up level too. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said. So,
Yeah.
touching back on how our, because not everyone is accepting for me either, but it's not something I can stop. So, do you feel that way? Because we sometimes we want to be normal and just not get into it, but have to. Like I can't stop it. Do you feel that way?
I definitely feel that way. Like sometimes when I struggled when I was younger, I just desperately wanted to fit in with people and it didn't matter. I just never really did, you know.
Neither did I.
I just didn't fit in anywhere. I'd have friends and then they just, I don't know, they just didn't, it turned out they didn't actually like me. A lot of bullying. I just didn't fit in anywhere. But there is a part of me, that is just like to have fun, just like to socialize. But whenever I do, I feel like they're more wanting to be friends with me because they like my energy as opposed to actually liking me as a person.
Mhm.
So I
Wow,
struggle with that. Yeah.
that's interesting. So here's a follow up. Do you feel used
Yes.
because of your gifts?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. 100%.
right, right. So you're
Yeah.
the this is how I feel. I'm the hidden friend. I'm the friend that people always call when they're struggling and they need something, but I'm not the friend you call to hang out or to. I was always an outlier, also, and that's also a
Yeah.
thing. We're always an outlier in our families. We're the black sheep. We're not accepted. We're the strange ones in friendship groups. Nothing, nothing.
Yeah.
So
No.
I totally understand you, but
Yeah.
now people just want to use you for your light.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I've cottoned on to it. My nan has been going like this to me. In regards to,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
can totally
Yeah. She's
relate.
been visiting people too, and checking them out and giving them messages actually. If I'm not listening, she goes and yeah.
Uh, we have a
Oh,
question from Alexis. What is your
yeah. What is your
strongest
strongest?
gift?
Um, Probably one of my strongest. Um, I have two of them. And these are actually the most common ones for those who mediums or channel, channel more than anything. Definitely work with spirit and angelic energy. Um, they actually showed me immediately. They went like this. It's probably like that at me. So my strongest gift is actually clairvoyance, um, and clairvoyance, and also clairaudience. Like I hear things. It's normally in this ear. Um, Sometimes it's not always clear, but yeah. So those are my two strongest gifts. I actually worked with my guides when I went through my awakening. I'm 43, and I was like, I'm too old for this. Make it happen quicker. I said, can I ask? I got a lot of lessons, but I think the main thing for me is I did have a tip that I offered to somebody else actually yesterday. I started off reading cards, but what I would do is I would visualize the cards in my head. I would do guided meditations that where you visualize like oh, like the beach or like a pathway into nature. And so I would do guided meditations that made you kind of visualize in order to strengthen my clairvoyance. But meditation was the biggest thing, and just working with my guides in regards to that. And that just kind of started to develop from there, and just, I guess, just trusting in it as well. Yeah, and hearing just kind of came about through kind of listening to music. Also, quietness can kind of help, like spending time alone. And what I would do is I would listen to kind of the sounds that were in the nearby vicinity, and then I'd try and reach out to hearing things like that were further and further and further away, like vehicles, and then try and work beyond that. And then what happens is you're basically reaching out into, then you're kind of tapping into like other realms if you're like working with spirit and stuff like that. So you're reaching out, you're hearing more. So that's kind of what I do. It kind of developed.
And you're awesome at it. Second question, it's kind of tied in. How do you feel social media has helped or hurt you, especially with the vampires?
Oh my goodness. Social media it's very difficult. I think as long as you can trust your feelings about a certain person, then you're able to adjust things. But oh my goodness, there are so many people who are especially like if I do like free one questions, there's so many people who are like spamming the page. It gets a bit overwhelming for me. So I tend to tell people, look, if you're going to spam, please only ask me once, because then I can't, because then I'm like giving messages and I need
Is that
space on there to
particular to
see the
TikTok?
feedback. Yeah, I have
Because
done them on
TikTok is
TikTok.
chaotic.
It is chaotic because anyone can come in as well.
Mhm.
Anyone can join. So it's been a bit of a mission on there,
So
I must say.
you said you're having an issue with self-confidence. Do you think that's tied into, because I've had people come on my live and ask a question and just want to call me a liar and a deceiver and it's not accurate, but they also want to throw in Bible quotes. Do you think that that has a influence on your psyche when people purposely log in to hurt you or to hurt your reputation?
Um, I think so. I think a lot of people think I can't read. I definitely get messages about that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and I've been experiencing a lot of like people projecting their own stuff onto me as
Right.
well. Like we're mirrors, and I've experienced a lot of that.
Right.
Yeah, they kind of said someone wanted to test me
Yeah. Yeah.
in regards to, what do you know about my side hustle then? I said, well, I will tell you something. The fact that you don't believe in me tells me that the reason why you're not doing well in your side hustle is because you do not believe in yourself,
Right. Right.
that you are projecting that onto me, and that's why. And she's like, oh my God, you're right.
Right. Because
Right?
although we do paid readings, the majority of our work is for free.
Yeah,
Like I've seen
yeah.
you on there doing tons for free. And the moment you want to value your time, people have a problem with that, right?
Yes. Yep.
They're not paying for your gift, they're paying for your time. And how much
Mm-hmm.
is your time worth? How much is my time worth? Why
Yeah,
don't I have
yeah.
value? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that
Yeah.
too. And there just seems to be a lot of people wanting to socialize with me, especially guys. So so I'm having to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
I have less of that because I don't show my face. And I do that on purpose. A, because sometimes I want to look crazy, and that's fine.
Yeah.
um, and it takes away from my anxiety of how do I look or see I have a little rosacea going on. Um, that's why I choose not to show my face,
Yeah.
because it helps me just not to think about anything else but my reading.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Yeah. Whereas I'm just telling people off.
Right. Which I do all the time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I've
as
started
the
to.
two females that are here can attest to me telling people off, because I'm not shy. I will curse you out and send you blessings all in one breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so I know you have a daughter. How
Yes,
does
I do have
she
a daughter.
feel?
Yes.
How does she feel about what you do?
Um, she she knows what I do.
Hmm.
Um, she is currently staying with her dad, so she's kind of influenced by him quite a lot. Um,
Okay.
but she's very gifted herself, very gifted.
Yeah. I have the same
So,
situation. I have a daughter. She's very gifted, but she's like, she doesn't understand my push to do it. Like, I don't have a choice anymore. I've denied it for so long that I can't
yes,
do it. Like, it's
yeah,
either I go crazy or I share this gift out.
yeah, yeah, it's like that. I mean, my daughter's coming up 15, you know, so she's going through that phase of not wanting to listen to me, but she's still healing. She's got some healing stuff to do as well, you know, due to our
Yeah.
breakup. So she's going through a lot at the moment. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. All
yeah,
these kids are, especially the ones who are highly attuned, because they don't know, in
yes,
my opinion, where these emotions are coming from. And because
mm.
they don't listen to us on how to ground and block, they just feel everything. Do you find that with your daughter, that she just feels everything?
Yeah, she does, and she's just she gets tired quite a lot, and I worry about that.
Right. Do you give her
Yeah.
crystals?
Yeah, she's got lots of crystals actually. Actually, she came the other on Tuesday. She was only here for an hour. I guess I was lucky to get that. She saw
Hmm.
one of my mushrooms from my
Okay.
shop. She's like, Mum, I want the brown mushroom.
Yeah, my daughter's not into crystals, but what I could tell you, if I give her a piece, she wears it, because
Mm,
ultimately she trusts that I have her best interest. So
yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I I know you're taking some courses, you said.
Yes.
What would you like to do, Angela? Where do you see yourself? You see yourself, even with your issues with a little doubting, you're going to be pushed to do this. We don't have a choice. That's just
Oh,
facts.
yes. Yeah, I
But
definitely know I don't have a choice. Because
what
even
would you
going through
like?
self-doubt, I was talking to someone last night and I was like falling asleep and I was having visions between being, I was trying to talk to them, but I was not, I was not even able to realize what they were even really talking about because I was dealing with other energies that were trying to come through and talk to me as I was talking to this person. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, I think I have to go now and like have a sleep.
Right.
So yeah, you can't stop it, eh?
No. But what do you
No.
want for yourself?
Uh, I actually see myself traveling, like physically traveling and doing the work
Okay.
that I do. Yeah. Um, I definitely want to go and do, yeah, kind of like more events and that type of stuff. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I want to do more events, traveling, doing it all over the world. Um, just working with spirit. I want to teach as well. I wouldn't mind having like a school,
Yeah.
like on
You
YouTube.
know,
I was actually thinking of going back to YouTube. They keep telling me YouTube as well. So,
yeah,
um,
I left it and I'm back to it because I feel like that's where the reach is. I don't feel I do TikTok, but it's because it's so chaotic. I it puts me off,
Mm.
especially with the yes or no questions, because life is not yes or no. And
No, it's not. No, it's not.
you know, it's no, but it could be no just for right now. Wait a year. It's like they don't want to hear the rest. It's yes or no. That's it. Let's go. And I'm like, I can't read like that.
No,
Yeah,
no, I can't read like that either.
yeah.
It's like even if I would do like a yes or no pendulum, there would still be yes because of blah, 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 blah. Like there would still be something after that that I would have to say about it, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, what's your? You mentioned pendulums. What are your? This is going to be probably one of the last questions because I've had you on for almost an hour already. Uh, what is your favorite medium to use right now?
Ooh, myself,
Ooh,
actually.
wonderful.
My favorite medium right now is my body.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just my channel connecting and getting it to just flow through.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite.
Do you, in channeling, do you use tarot cards as a visual for the other person? Because you may say exactly what the tarot card says, and then you'll pull that card. Do you use it like as a, you see what I just said?
That does happen. Though lately, to be honest, I feel the pull to not really use them. Like I will shuffle them, but it's more of like it's like shuffling them helps me tune in.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's
And there might be
interesting.
cards that come out, but then I'll get words and like visuals and things that kind of tell me what that particular card means for that person or the cards that kind of come out for them.
Right. So I don't,
Right.
when I read, I don't stick to the traditional readings.
I don't either.
I say what I feel. But a
Yes.
lot of times people are very, because it's distances, people are very visual. So I just use cards to reiterate what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
this is it. It's more for them and not for me. Because people
Mm.
don't understand how we connect. Because they think it's actual, I'm hearing somebody whisper in my ear, and it's not. It's another language. It's not like a spoken, for me, it's not like a spoken language. It's just something so hard to explain to people when I say
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
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 What's your opinion on that? Do you find it difficult to explain how you're connecting?
Yes. I think some of them kind of laugh because they don't actually realize that it's real, like that's even a thing. I think so many people believe that they come in and they're like, I want a card. Like almost like they've got this belief system that readers use cards. That's it. They all have cards. They want it,
Right.
like you said, a visual.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want a visual
Well, I can
um,
read shells,
or something.
so but
Mm.
nobody gets that. Nobody gets the turned up, turned down, 5, 10, 15, like the numbers versus up and down and the way they fall on the table. Like people,
Yeah, they think we're all the
yeah.
same. They actually think all readers are the same. That we all do the same type of readings. I mean, I've had so many people who say, "Can you tell my fortune? Can you tell my future?" Like they're very restricted in the way that they think we work.
Right. And they don't
Um,
understand it's vibrational. This is what the
mm,
vibe is now,
yeah,
and it can
yeah.
change.
It can change. Like sometimes I'll be doing mediumship readings, and they're like, "We want to do pregnancy ones, or when you focus on loved ones."
Hmm.
It's yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So, Angela, give all your channels, all your information, how people could reach you. If you want
Yes,
to type
yes.
it into the comments, you can do that as well. You can voice it and type it in.
I will. Actually, how do I type it in?
Do you see the where people are chatting? I'll hold on. Do you see that I just wrote here?
Hang on, where are we?
Hold on one second, because we've been on a
Oh, here we
while. They
go.
want me to.
On the private chat, I can.
You can type it in. I'll move it over.
Okay, cool. I'll put my TikTok because I am mostly on there at the moment.
Okay.
And I kind of have links from there that kind of go to everywhere else. Or I could put my link tree in.
Go ahead. Whatever you want to do it. If you
Yeah, I
want to,
think I'd put
because
my link
people are going
tree.
to listen to this on Apple. If you want to say what your channels are, and people can find you.
Oh,
Um,
yep. Yep, I'll just type that in. I'm not very fast at doing it, but
take your time.
yeah, hang on.
Does Alexis or Nora, do you have any other questions? We have people listening, but they're not posting questions. We have Alexis and Nora
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
interacting.
I
Any final
think
questions or thoughts?
I think this is the right link. Right, there we go.
Okay, I see it right there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
So,
it.
Angela, any. Why is this logging me off? I'll put it in the comments and the rest of the links because
Okay, cool.
it's logging me off of comments for some reason. I think it's because we're running into the end of the memory.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, but any final thoughts, Angela? Anything you want to talk about?
Um, yeah. Just yeah, if you delve into this um work, realize the real need to surround yourself with the right people that you vibe with, that resonate with who you are, who believe and want to support you. Um, yeah, and above all
Right,
else, just protect your energy while you're at it.
right.
Yeah.
My parting suggestion is learn how to ground, learn how to
Mm,
block, because as an empath, you will not be able to discern your feelings from somebody else. They will all
mm,
meld together and you will be angry and not know why. And it's somebody else's energy. It's not yours.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Angela, I hope you'll join me again. Maybe we could do readings next time.
That'd
But
be
I really
awesome.
enjoyed this chat. I really enjoyed this chat, and I am so grateful to know
You're
you and
welcome.
to know your gifts. Now she has read for me in the past, so and she's always been 100% accurate, right?
Yeah.
So if you are interested, I'll put her information, and you can reach out to Angela.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Delilah. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Awesome.